This is day 5 of Unit 3.1, and we are still in section 4.4 in the textbook. So we want to factor this completely. So now there's 5 terms, so I cannot factor by grouping, and I really don't know how to factor anything that's to the 4th power. So what we would really need is to know what one of the factors already is. So if I could take out one factor, I can now break it down to a cubed with 4 terms and maybe try to group that one. So if x plus 5 is a factor, that means I can use synthetic division to take that factor out using -5. And as long as I get a remainder of 0, that was in fact a factor, and what's left is what I can factor. So we have 1, 6, 1, -24, and -20. Right? Nothing was missing up here. So we get -5, 1, -5, -4, +20, -4, +20, 0. So that means this was a factor. And now what we're left with is x cubed plus x squared minus 4x minus 4. And we do know how to factor this. We can factor this by grouping. So out of the first two, I have an x squared, and I'm left with x plus 1. Out of the second two, I have a -4 I could take out, and I'm left with x plus 1. They do, in fact, match. So that's x plus 1 times x squared minus 4. And if it's factor completely, I can't forget the original, so I'm going to put that there as well. And I'm still not completely done. I still have x squared minus 4 here, which I know is the difference of perfect squares. So I'm going to factor that. So we have x plus 5, we have x plus 1, and now this is x squared minus 2 squared, x plus 2, x minus 2. All right, so as long as they give us a factor, we can start by taking the opposite out, right? Do the synthetic division, and then factor the remaining polynomial. All right, let's do another one. So even though this is 4 terms, if I tried to factor by grouping, there's nothing that 15 and 189 have in common. So there's nothing I would have been able to take out. So I am going to have to factor it with the -3 here. 1, 2, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we're not missing anything. Okay, so bring down the 1. We get -3. That's -16. +48. +63. -189. 0. All right, so that's good. So we're left with x squared minus 16x plus 63. So here we're seeing what multiplies to 63 and adds to -16. We try -3 and 21. That's 18, or -18. 4 doesn't go in, 5 doesn't go in, 6 doesn't go in, 7 and negative. Oh, sorry, should be negative and negative. -7, -9, right? Because it was +16. -7, -9 works. So this factors to x minus 7, x minus 9, and we can't forget the original, x plus 3. All right, a few more together. All right, this is another one where we have 4 terms, so we wouldn't have been able to factor by grouping. So we'll start with -7 on the outside. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're good. Okay, so we'll start with 1. We get 2, -14, we get 5, -35, we get 10, -70, 0. So now we're left with x cubed plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 10. This can be solved by grouping now, because here I could take out x squared and I'm left with x plus 2. Here I could take out a +5 and I'm left with x plus 2. So that means we have x plus 2, x squared plus 5, and the original x plus 7, right? I could have thrown it at the end. It doesn't matter where that goes. One more together. So we're going to do where 6 is the number we're putting on the outside. 4, 3, no x squared, 2, 1, 0. So that's 1, negative 6, 0, 8, negative 48. So we get 6, 0, that's 0, 0, that's 0, 8, 48, 0. So what we're left with is x cubed, no x squared, no x, plus 8. And if you recall from our last lesson, this is the difference of two perfect cubes, the sum of two perfect cubes. So it's a plus b, right? This was x cubed, this was 2 cubed, and then a squared minus ab plus b squared, and our original x minus 6. You go ahead and try these 4, pause it, and I'm going to show all the answers. All right, guys, the thing to notice for number 3 is we did end up with 2 different x plus 4s. So I wrote it as x plus 4 squared. If you would written it as 2 separate x plus 4s, you're still correct. All right. Number 2 used one of the special patterns because we were left with x squared minus, x cubed minus 1. So we used their special pattern there. And everything else was just factorable, right? Number 1 by grouping. And that's it for this lesson.